Hey, welcome. How's everyone doing today? My name is Mike Kari, and I'm the founder and president of BAC Musical Instruments, located in the historic Jazz District of Kansas City, Missouri, where we make trombones and trumpets and other lots of fun things, and we have a whole line of musical instruments. I'm also joined today with none other than Nick Finzer, jazz trombonist himself and professor of jazz trombone from the University of North Texas, UNT's very famous jazz trombone studio and jazz school of music. How are you doing today, Nick?
I'm doing great, Mike.
Good awesome. So, you know, you and I have been talking about this thing last year. We had great pleasure working with you on the first ever, the inaugural, if you will, the inaugural Jazz Trombone Day. And today, this year, I should say, it's happening again, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We're making lemons we're making lemonade out of this year's lemons. And yeah, it's November 21st, coming up in just a couple of weeks here.
You know what? I think that's appropriate, actually. We are making lemons out of potatoes. in a year where many unprecedented things have been delivered, we're just doing the best. So I commend you on pushing through and presenting a virtual situation for this. I am very excited. I do believe, while it's maybe not necessarily what a lot of people expected, I do believe a lot more trombone players around the world are actually fortunate to be able to look forward to this event this year.
Oh yeah,
because it's virtual and you can attend it from wherever you are, from your humble abode in Cambodia to Austin, Texas, or Sacramento, or
wherever.
Yeah. Minot, North Dakota. Why not Minot? So, part of this Trombone Day, we're going to have a lot of really incredibly talented clinicians. BAC is so proud to help present this Jazz Trombone Day. We're going to have some of our own artists participating. You've got Jim Pugh, who should need no introduction for so many trombone players in the world. He has been such a great inspiration. We've got some younger lions in the industry like Reginald Chapman. We've got, at one point, Elliot Mason would have been considered younger. He's a little older than, we're still young. You're young, I'm young, he's young. We're all still young. But Elliot has now been with Jazz at Lincoln Center now for over 10 years now, over a decade himself.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know. Melissa Gardner. I'm excited to have Melissa Gardner, who performs with a variety of different groups. She's up in Syracuse. She's a professor at Cornell. She plays with Wolfpack and many other groups. We're going to have Kevin Hicks, who is also an alumnus and played with the 1 o'clock at UNT, which is awesome that he'll be participating with this. We'll see some other familiar faces that will be jumping in, I'm sure. Not limited to some of the staff members. Tell us about some of the guys we might see that might normally be walking around campus at UNT.
Yeah, well, we are putting together a collaboration with Vincent Gardner, who's been teaching a little bit at UNT this semester, which is really exciting. And then the other jazz trombone faculty, Tony Baker and myself,
oh man,
be,
what a lineup,
roaming around.
Man, that's so awesome. It's really cool that, if you're a young trombone player and you're considering where to go, it's not only is it good just to have an opportunity to attend a school like that, but that you guys make yourselves available for things like this, where no matter where you're going to school or attending, or maybe you just decide you're not going to go study jazz trombone performance, but you still have a passion for it and you still have these opportunities that you're making available to the community. I think that's really awesome.
The best we can, that's for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, one of the awesome things about this specifically is that the Jazz Trombone Day, in addition to having clinicians and guest people that might be popping in and you might see in question and answer sessions throughout the day, but it's also a competition. Tell us a little bit about the competition aspect of this last year as it transcended into this year.
Yeah, for sure. So the competition is a international jazz trombone competition for artists 30 and under, and we're, trying to create an opportunity for young trombone artists to connect with not only other trombonists and educators, but to put their music on stage, to put their artistry on stage for all to kind of see and hear. Because there's other jazz competitions out there, they don't always feature the trombone. So we wanted to really hone in on the trombone. I won't name any names, but we wanted to really make this like a really great chance for people to share their artistry. And so we made it open. People could submit whatever they wanted, whether it was original music, standards. We heard some incredible stuff, some really interesting trombone choir arrangements. We got music from Asia, from Europe. We got entrants from all over the globe, and we're really, really excited. There's some really amazingly talented young people, so we were able to narrow it down to 3 finalists, and then we picked one 18-year-old to feature from the kind of 18 and under category. There was a large number of really great young players, but we've picked one to feature on our trombone day as well. So we've got really four awesome. Great artists to hear.
Man, that is fantastic. Without further ado, I'm going to share my screen here, and I'll have you take us through. All right, tell us about it. Who do we have here?
All right, so here we have Mr. Altin Sencalar. Altin studied with Michael Deese up at Michigan State University and is now teaching down in Austin, Texas. He's another young one. I forget exactly. I didn't look up everybody's date of birth before, but I know they're all under 30. but Altin's really great. He's got a group. He actually plays a lot with the winner of last year's competition, Chris Glassman. They have a couple of tunes out together. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I've met Alton several times. He's a really good guy down in Texas on occasions. I believe you at the Texas. Oh, what is it? My brain. What is it? The Texas Music Educator Convention.
Oh, TMEA. Yeah.
TMEA. That's it. All right, let's go to the next gentleman here. Oh, that's not the way I wanted to go. Yeah, I'll figure this out. It's okay.
And if you couldn't tell from the graphic, on the day, 21st of November, it'll be 2 p.m. 2 p.m. for our final round, and it'll be adjudicated by some of the great BAC artists, including Reginald Chapman and Elliot Mason. And Jim Pugh. So that's going to be so great. And this year we're also featuring Javier Nero, who's now on the screen. Javier's a graduate of the Juilliard School and University of Miami, and he's in New York City now, freelancing, and he just put out his first record this last summer, and he's just getting into the scene and making things happen in New York.
And again, such a talented musician, and another individual I've been very fortunate to meet on several occasions. He's very humble and just a great dude all around, but such a talented musician. And then last but not least,
this third finalist was one that I had heard of, but never actually got to hear him until this competition. And he's an incredible young musician. He spent a lot of time, he's from Spain, but he's living in Paris, and he spent a lot of time in New York going to school at Manhattan School of Music, I do believe. And so he's going to be joining us. This is Mr. Paco Andreo, and he actually is a valve trombonist. So it's the first time having a valve trombonist, and he's a really creative composer and arranger as well. He submitted some of his arrangements featuring himself, and it was really, really, really great to hear.
That is awesome. And what I love about that is, I know there's some kind of discussion about, well, valve trombone, man, does this fit? But honestly, I think we all kind of collectively agreed that, there have been certainly some phenomenal valve trombonists over the years. We had Bob Brookmeyer from Kansas City, of course, who made the valve trombone real famous. But one of the things I love is that there are so many great musicians that are just really innovating with their music. And I love the fact that when you're approaching your music, that you're not limiting yourself based on whatever the piece of equipment is. We hear people like Javier and Reginald Chapman himself, when they approach their instruments, they're doing things that you wouldn't expect. When you hear jazz trombone, I think a lot of people put theinselves in a mindset from like 20 or 30 years ago. You think of jazz trombone. And nowadays there's so many people that are reinventing what that means. And I love it. I love that they're pushing the boundaries for what that means. And that's what jazz is, right? Constantly reinventing what it is. So congratulations to those finalists. But as I understand it, you guys had a ton of submissions. And once again, just an impossible decision to narrow that down to the
it was a hard one.
I can't imagine, based on what you guys were telling me, I just can't imagine. I know it's a really difficult thing to do. But congratulations to everybody that participated, on behalf of all the guys at UNT, all the judges and panelists, everybody here at BAC. We'll encourage you to continue your music and your passion and working hard toward that. Please do put in next year again. I know that while it was overwhelming for them, it's always rewarding to hear such fine talent all across the world. So
yeah, it's so amazing to see how many great young musicians there are. I always I know there's a lot of people I don't know about, and then I go through this and I'm like, there's way more that I don't know about. So I'm really glad fantastic. To.
So if you're not familiar, check it in. We dropped a link on the post here that's live on Facebook, November 21st. Again, it's free. You can join for free. There's some great clinicians. If you're a trombone player, if you're a music educator, if you know a trombone player, please spread the word. There's no excuses this year. Last year I said 3-4 hour drive, you should be there. Now, if you got an internet connection, if you got Wi-Fi, if not, drive 3-4 hours to get that Wi-Fi connection.
Love
All right, Nick, thank you so much for joining today. And I look forward to seeing you on the 21st. It's coming up here of November.
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a good one.